Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming by to another Roundtable Spaces. We've got an awesome project on here with us today. Engines of Fury, killer game, doing some very cool things in the space. Looking forward to diving deep into it with them towards the end. We're gonna have an hour-long space, a lot of fun, a lot of gaming, a lot of entertainment, a lot of laughs, a lot of emojis. Make sure everybody throws up some emojis, supports the algorithm, lets everybody know that we're here. Elon should bump us up a little bit. If there's something that you want to talk about, any questions that you have, the best way known to man and aliens alike to let us know, drop a comment in the bottom right. While you're at it, retweet the space and tell your friends that we've got some awesome conversations going on here. A lot of gaming, a lot of spaces, a lot of action. But before that, I got to say, how is it going to my co-host AJ? How you doing today?
David, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for having me. Super excited to be here. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. It's nice to see, the markets wake up. Obviously, we're having a larger conversation about GameFi, Engines of Fury, and all that today. Everybody, make sure you smash the like button on this space, retweet it if you haven't already, get involved, participate. But right now, it's hard to kind of have a conversation about crypto without, talking about Bitcoin. We've kind of seen the inflows pick back up on the ETFs, and what I can't ignore, especially on the charts, is there is an inverse head and shoulders on the 2 hour that has broke past the neckline at 64.6. We are having trouble getting above support resistance in the 67s, but we have, I would say, as long as we hold the neckline and not invalidate the head and shoulders, there's a good chance if that inverse head and shoulders, the measured move, was to play out. I mean, we're talking getting back to 72,000 in the event it plays out. So, certainly some bull run vibes waking back up. It's good to see, like, some of the altcoins follow along. Obviously, the GameStop hype as well, waking up a lot of the meme coins. Man, I'm excited. But David, what are you looking at right now? Are you in any active trades at the moment? Like what are you feeling?
Oh man, well the only active trade I am in right now is with you and Mario and Engines of Fury, but I am still euphoric ever since Roaring Kitty came back. I don't know what it is. I feel like the next movie is gonna be about him and crypto. I've got my fingers crossed. I want to see him holding a controller. I want to see him playing a mobile game on the controller and doing Twitter Spaces instead of YouTube videos. We got to get him. We got to get him up here with us, AJ. I don't know what we have to do. Maybe Engines of Fury will let him know that if he does not come on here, the zombies are gonna go get him. I don't. I'm trying to concoct the master plan over here. We got to make something happen though, AJ. But look, we're back. Every time I see a little green candle, I get excited. Roaring Kitty just made that go times 69. I don't know. We're back. I feel like we never left, and things are only going to get better from here. But listen, everybody, DYOR, do not take advice from me when it comes to money because I am just a pretty cartoon PFP up here on Twitter Spaces with my pal AJ and all of these other awesome speakers. But AJ, what should I be paying attention to? You sound analytical. I know you look at the Fibonacci's and the lines, and it makes sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me. I need guys like you.
Well, money flows where the attention goes, right? Money goes to what everyone is looking at. And in terms of crypto, I mean, we are kind of riding off the back of the S&P breaking its all-time high from earlier in the year. The dollar is going down, the markets are going up. A weak dollar is a strong market. Well, that's no secret. Right now, I've been looking at a handful of charts, but it was impossible to ignore the other day when Bitcoin broke out. The top five leaders in the top 100 was I think Pepe, Floki, Dog Whiff, I think Bonk. My point, the top five movers were all meme coins, like the established top 100 meme coins, at least at that. So and what I like about playing the meme game, there's 100 different ways you can play the meme game, right? Like you could play the finding what's coming out that day, like kind of combing through all the WhatsApp and Telegram groups, Discord groups, trying to find the brand new meme coin that's coming out, or you could target the meme coins that are already established in the top 100. And what I like about trading those meme coins is that they always, always, always have massive liquidity on the exchanges. It's easy to get in and to get out of established meme coins. So I personally, I've been trading Dog Whiff. I've been trading Floki. Some Beam is in there. I think outside of memes, I think Immutable X. Up about 12% on the 7 day. That is a leader in the GameFi space right now. I kind of feel like kind of leading into plays like that, especially if you're a scalp trader like myself. That's what I've been looking at a lot. I've been trading dog whiff on Femex just about every single day. I mean, when Bitcoin moves 2%, that thing moves 15%, and it has a lot of liquidity. So yeah, that's what I've been looking at lately.
All right, there is one thing that I'm looking for. I'm still looking for it. I haven't found it yet. I need something that does a 69% swing every time Bitcoin does any kind of swing. But look, AJ, this is you sound like an expert to me. You might not be an expert, but to me, you're an expert. I want to know what do we need to what needs to happen with gaming for traders to look at some of these gaming coins, for them to look at GameFi like you're looking at these meme coins. Like, is it just the community? Do we need to put a fundraiser together and get a gaming token on the Vegas sphere? Like, what do we need to do here? Come on, I need some advice.
All right, not financial advice, not financial advice. Am I an expert in technical analysis? I would say I've earned that. I've earned that accolade. In terms of gaming marketing strategies, I don't have all the answers. But what I do see is that there's kind of a split between people who actually play games, like actual gamers, and then degen day traders like myself. Well, I don't think we are not the same. It's not. I feel like all the games that I've seen be successful. I mean, look back at 2021, man. Look at Axie Infinity. Was that game fun? Let's be real. Like, was that game fun? Was that like some groundbreaking thing that happened? It wasn't. But what did happen is that the stars aligned. There was a dedicated team. There was enough people that got involved with the game for it to be profitable. And it really comes down to people want to make money. And that's the thing. Are we playing video games because they're fun, or are we playing because they're play to earn? And it's not like gamers don't want to spend money. There's actually, like, I forget the numbers, but the amount of money like your average gamer spends every month on Fortnite skins, on new games. I mean, the gamers do spend money, and they spend that money without the expectation of receiving anything back. So it's kind of like this weird middle ground of, are we making a game that's fun to play because people want to play it, or are we playing this game, grinding these hours out to earn coins to sell to make money? And I have yet to see like a straight down the middle perfect attempt. Are there attempts? Hell yeah, there are. There are some really good games out there. I really like Shrapnel right now. I think Shrapnel, we did a lot of spaces with them a couple months ago. I think they're killing it. But I'm still forever searching for the next game that meets the center ground of, this is fun to play and I can make money at the same time. We got Tyler with his hand up. Man, how you doing? What do you got?
What's up, man? What's up, AJ? What's up, Mario? The initial thing that you basically said, that with regards to, like, why, and there was an example of Axie Infinity, right? Axie Infinity was something like, which was in somehow a properly planned UGC strategy, correct? And the UGC strategy was as such that because they worked a lot on the grassroots community. Now, when you have, and there have been things, I'm sure that David, Matthew, they're bored of listening to me saying this, because in game publishing, if you do not have the distribution managed, you're literally in the wrong space, because people often mistake elements of Web3 gaming, the token side and the gaming side, both as same. Apparently they are not. They absolutely are not. They're totally two different audiences. Now, if rather I have, let's say, as a project, first of all, obviously it's always like, a Web3 audience or Web3 gamers are never the loyal gamers. It's usually basically the non-Web3 gamers which always stay loyal. Web3 gamers will play till there is an incentive attached to it, but non-Web3 gamers will play it till there is actually, like, the game is becoming more and more fun. So the most important aspect that's added to it is, like, which most of the founders miss, is that constant work and effort on building that grassroots community. So that means that scale it from bottom rather than going for the bigger KOLs first, paying them a lot of money, burn the resources, and then have nothing to do, but you have an amazing game. Now, how am I going to take it to the audience? So that's most important thing that I don't. I think, like, every game has been missing. When we started scaling a game in India, it was called BGMI, which is basically a version of PUBG Mobile in India. So they renamed it for India because of the server conflict with China. So the game has 110 million active users, correct? So if a game like that is there, and they didn't really even have users, persistently they were spending money on, we were like roughly spending around $1 million a year just to build up that grassroots community. Once that grassroots community came in play, like within no span of time it was sitting on 60 million users. So I think those are the strategies that, like, you can replicate the strategies. Don't try and invent strategies in gaming space, because gaming is very critical.
Yeah,
Oh
I
man, that's an
think you're.
excellent take.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
go ahead,
completely.
AJ.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's about covering it in spikes and rolling it over your grandmother's house. I think that is certainly what I've seen over time has been the strategy to. It's not about completely redoing everything from the beginning. It's about taking examples that have been properly carried out in the past, like Axie Infinity, having a grassroots community. I mean, that certainly does need to be the focus because like the talk of the town, what people are actually talking about, that goes a lot further than any other type of marketing, especially like back in the day before we had the internet. Playing just N64 games. Like we figured that out by talking to our friends at school. We didn't. There was no KOL to tell me what to do. There wasn't. I completely agree with you there, man. And David, didn't mean to cut you off, brother. You got anything?
No, okay, look, I kind of agree with you guys. I'm like 69% on both of your sides. But look, everybody says we're not reinventing the wheel. Like, there's still video games. Obviously, it still goes from point A to point B. But how I see it, the old gaming is a wheel. It's a tire. It's circular. It goes round and round. What we've got here in Web3, it's like tank tracks. Like, we're still gonna get there, but like the inner intricacies, there's so much there's a lot that's very, very similar. It's still gaming at the end of the day, but there are elements to Web3 gaming that gaming companies have never had to deal with before. Open secondary markets. That may not seem like a big deal. The communities, the degenness, the you rug me because I am not up 1000x, sir. That's something that no one has experienced before. We're still getting from point A to point B. People are still playing games and having fun. But look, there is something different here. And look, Web2 games, they don't do Twitter spaces like us. Not at all. But I want to hear from Matthew.
Yeah, I really just want to echo that. There is a lot of differences, but distribution, as Tokia says, and I'm probably murdering his name again, um, is the key. It's like why we are an OEM deal with Jambo Phone. It's why everyone in sort of Candy Crush was spending so much money. That game was making $1 million a day. God knows how much more they spent. They had different tiers of launches in King that could go all the way from a gold launch where you take over Times Square, all the way down to a silver one where you have like a small letter A in London. There was so much marketing and money. And also, there is billions of dollars spent on analysis. And if you have seen the Data AI, formerly App Annie, the gold standard of mobile data, was bought by Sensor Tower, just a huge data conglomerate giant. There is so many things that you can just check if a game is lying on Web3 about its mobile numbers. Most of the VCs don't have those accounts, but if you check, you'll notice many of them are. Distribution has not been solved, and we are really, really missing out if we don't do those deals, if we don't look at the countries that are actually growing up, the ones with the huge TAMs, and they are getting bigger. Like, outside of this Western bubble, the world is ready.
They're ready, and I'm ready for them to come, because once they come into these Twitter spaces, we get 69 whitelist spots for the speakers. But Tokir, over to you. What's going on?
Man, Matthew didn't butcher my name today. David didn't butcher my name today. AJ didn't butcher my name today. So yeah, look, I think like it's David, when you mentioned that earlier, that basically people are usually like, we have those region communities. That's what I was stating, that like, you don't need to really you cannot rely on a Web3 gamer. Every founder knows it. Everyone here on the space knows this. So if you, for example, so usually like if you go for a Web3, I'm launching a Web3 game. First and foremost, my primary focus is on getting the, obviously, like working on the token sale, whatnot, and ABC. And when I do that particular token sale, I'm already burning up a lot of cash, mainly on the fact that I want to get the trading volume up. But that element and actually getting a gamer is are two different elements, right? So you need to be like very considerate of the other element as much as you are for the token element side of things. So go for a low CAG. This is the hack. Go for the lower CAG regions where you get your cost of acquisition is very low. Go for that specific thing. The second thing is that get the actual onboard actual gamers. On the second side of the things, that do your token marketing thing the way that you are doing anyways, but do not rely on the token side only, where people are not going to stay that loyal towards basically game, because that's what Web3 community usually, Web3 token owners usually do. Like they'll buy the token, they will play it for a while, or they will farm it for a while, and then they will bounce to the next one. So
Hey,
yeah.
oh, hey, completely agree with you there. But look, me personally, I am a loyal farmer. If you keep showing up to Twitter, I will farm your token for the next 69 years. But I saw a few hands go up. I want to call on, let's go to Designer Dave, see if AJ's got anything to say, and then we'll bounce back to Kyle after that.
Hey guys, I'm designer Dave. I'm with the Engines of Fury team, chief of design. I've been in the game industry 25 years, so I come from a traditional game development background. And what I'm hearing, yeah, you cannot rely on Web3 gamers, and there's several reasons for that. Primarily that they're there to make money, and as soon as they're there to make money, they're not there to play your game for fun. And if they're not playing your game for fun, well, what kind of game should you make? The difference that we're working with is the idea that we're just getting gamers. So our game will be free to play, and we are focusing on making a good experience and having it be as close to AAA as we think we can get without destroying ourselves, which is actually a very fine balancing act. But the important thing is that to not overhype the game, and instead of promising like, oh my God, it'll be the most epic AAA thing ever, you try to mix some genres together and do something unique that no one else is doing, and then you can grab the market that way. But you don't just grab the Web3 market, you grab traditional gamers. They come in, you make it all seamless. You don't even tell them it's Web3 if you can get away with it. And they can find that stuff later on their own. And I think that's what Immutable's been doing with Passport, and that's what we're trying to do by being a free-to-play game first.
Yeah,
No, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, hold on, AJ. I'm waiting for the game. I heard that there is a meta coming up that is the genre is FPS extractor farming, mega farming plus social fi, and there is a token element to it. I don't know, like they just combined 69 different genres. That made me bullish, but over to you.
I mean, I completely agree with a lot of things designer Dave just said. And it's kind of like, it's sort of like crypto, right? Like gamers, it's like a really niche thing. Like, everyone kind of has their thing. I know, like there are probably hundreds of people trying to speed run Mario 64 right now. Right now. And like when you compare that to, the AAA games that are coming out, when you look at Grand Theft Auto 6 and like the Red Dead Redemptions, like, the top tier of the games, like that matters to some players, but some players just want to try to max out on Tetris. Like, you know what I mean? It's such a niche thing from person to person to person. Like it's a really broad statement when someone says I'm a gamer, just like it's a broad statement when someone says I'm in crypto, because it could mean like so many different things. And I agree with Dave that the strategy should certainly be to have the game be free so people can like at least at the very least try to explore it and like try to have fun with it first, instead of having like this insane paywall, like the high level of entry just to get in to be able to play the game, like with like certain like Axie Infinity or something like that. So I certainly agree with him on that aspect there. We got my guy Kyle W, who's had his hand up for a little while. He's the gaming strategist. Kyle, what do you got, brother?
Yeah, I was just gonna chime in, like what kind of is the gonna make Web3 gaming good, right? Onboarding gamers into the space, yeah, is definitely hard. I agree with the acquisition model, go after the low hanging fruit. I've seen reports though from other games out there that Web3 gamers in some cases are actually better in terms of like the long term value. Like the retention initially might not be as good as Web2 gamers who are traditionally jump into a game and actually enjoy it really well. I think it was World Wide Web that actually put out a report. The founder from that one, he actually reported some pretty cool metrics and findings from his game, saying that actually Web3 gamers ended up being better in some regards once you get them onboarded. So I think the trick there is getting them onboarded. And I think that's the key problem here in the space. And I think that's where a lot of games really fail. And I think we're seeing, tool solutions and things being built out there that make it seamless for a Web2 gamer to jump into Web3 games. And I think that's the key element here.
Oh, love it. And I can confirm Web3 gamers are better in every category, every single
Yeah,
category.
as long as you pay them, sure. But if you if you actually want them to play the game for fun because they enjoy the game, that's a different story.
Well. Agree to disagree. Zillion, over to you.
Yeah, just a quick comment on the customer acquisition in low cost jurisdictions. I think it's very the hack basically in those type of jurisdictions is to build a game that has a good cultural stickiness with that region. Usually, what we have here is we have games that are built for probably an American public trying to acquire users in Indonesia. I think if people try to work a game that has cultural elements that matches either the pop culture of that region or their culture in general, and really dig deep and say, ask yourself when you're trying to develop a game where the main strategy is to acquire users in those low cost jurisdictions, who am I marketing it to, and can I incorporate cultural elements that fit the culture of that environment, and that can only encourage the stickiness of those users. I think Axie, in a way, they were able to have a sticky network effect for various reasons, but I think that people that work that cultural adaptation or localization type of environment will have much more chances in getting stickiness and actually carrying on with the numbers in Web3.
The reason why was because they were getting paid more to play the game than they were on their minimum wage
Day job.
jobs.
Yeah,
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 it was the
but
new
yeah, but
user
you
being the old
yeah.
user.
Yeah, but this if the guys did not spend if the guys did not spend time in the Philippines, they would not figure that thing out because they did the work. I mean, when I met them in 2018, they were in the Philippines, or I met them actually in Manila. So you can't just sit in San Francisco and develop a game and say, okay, I'm gonna try to acquire users in Bangladesh, right? You kind of have to know the market in which you're introducing that game to. But I understand what you're saying, obviously.
All
I
right,
think it
everybody.
makes the
Look,
most sense. Sorry, it makes the most sense to actually build a game in US and market it in areas. I won't say Bangladesh is cheap in CAG, but I think like in an areas where your basic, at least a grassroots community can be developed at a lower cost compared to what is there. If I go to West, I'm paying like around $18 per user in acquisition. If I go to the same with the money in South Asia, especially in countries like India, Bangladesh, or other countries, my CAG is around like $5 or $6. Sometimes even in mobile games, it substantially drops roughly around like 50 cents,
One,
70
yeah,
cents.
$1. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if the effort, but my whole point is that don't because I mean, from a VC standpoint, when I see that, I see just a grift, right? Because I see just a number pump. I don't see any stickiness in that user base. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's fine to start your base with low acquisition costs, but that base needs to be has a little bit of stickiness. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's actually dangerous to start by acquiring users because once you stop paying even if they're in your ecosystem and everything, unless your game organically has some sort of draw to a larger group of people than the ones that you paid for, why would they enter the game? So I think it's much safer to approach it as organic growth, especially early on when you have when you want to keep your server costs low and do minimal testing first, get the alpha done, see how people enjoy it, iterate, do the beta, which is a more traditional game development way. Right now, with all the everyone wants to hype and get as many people in there and get the numbers up, like it doesn't work in the long run. You need sustainability, and you can't do that if you pay everyone to come in, and then once that payment has to stop at some point because you have to make money, right? Someone has to pay into the game, right? Like then what happens? All those people who were getting that money, they disappear.
Yeah, and
Hey,
that's a
excellent
really good
points.
point. Yeah, great point, Dave. And this is kind of like I do want to get to the other people that have their hands up. We also haven't heard from Ryan yet. I want to get to them, but designer Dave, this is the kind of a question that I would like to ask someone like you who has like a lifetime of experience, in this sector. Is that like what I've seen like with crypto games? Like let's think back. Like remember Steppen, the move to earn game on Solana that you basically like bought these
Yeah.
shoes and you like went on a walk or a run or whatever, and then like the shoes would get beat up and you'd have to fix them, and it was like this like you get rewards for walking, right? And what happened with that is basically the people that got in on it early were actually making money and were walking around with multiple pairs of shoes on, however that physically works out. I don't know, I'm joking, but but then so many people got in the game that it was you're making next to nothing because it got oversaturated, and then from there it wasn't sustainable. And if you look at the chart of that, it kind of like dwindled out over time. So like we've seen like all these different models on things that work at first and then stop working, or things that are just kind of like straight across the whole time. Like is there like a certain angle that like you would take like with the experience you have like to avoid that fall off from happening?
Yeah, you what it works in traditional mobile development is that you're looking to monetize for the whales, but you're also looking to have the general game be something that anyone can come in and play. And then after a certain period of time, when those people are hooked into your ecosystem, then you can start uh, with small quality of life charges, or you can advertise to them. And usually, there's an ethical way and an unethical way to do that. I prefer the ethical way, which is simply for them to opt into advertising, which is to say that, hey, you really want that, I don't know, object, or here's a small reward of in-game token if you watch this ad. And in that way, it becomes pretty easy to have a sustainable environment without disrupting anyone's experience. So, they can opt out of the ads, and then you don't earn money from that. But then you can also offer them something like get the reward for no ads if you pay this price, and that price will always be way more than you would ever get from the ads. So there's all sorts of ways to do it, but the main thing is that you don't want any friction when they come in. You want them getting into your gameplay loop and enjoying the game, and then you can figure out what to do in order to monetize them later.
Yeah, in a more creative model, just to add, obviously you guys are talking about secular games. There is now an upcoming trend in Indonesia. It's called pray to earn, not play to earn. and and the flywheel here works in the fact that obviously, for example, in the case of Indonesia, Muslims in general they pay 2.5% charity every year on their capital. So the flywheel works is that they basically encourage people to kind of learn topics around religion, etc., around their identity, etc. And in that case, it works because there is someone paying in, right? Plus the advertising revenue, etc. So the flywheel works when there is someone that is genuinely interested in that community earning and developing a certain skill set.
Hey, love the take. Let's get to some of these hands. Kyle, what's going on?
Yeah, so I think Web3 has its own like standards and ethos, and so I think approaching like one marketing strategy doesn't necessarily work. I think it's very nuanced, and it depends on the game. If you have a lot of hype already, your game's like super bomb, super good. Of course, you're going to get a lot of attention. But what about the games that are just they don't have as much attention? I think very much you do need a strategy, and I think it's okay to have a multi-tier approach. So you have different funnels for different folks, right? And I think that's where a lot of games kind of struggle. They just have like one approach, and they have one ideology, and they kind of use their marketing to do just that, and they don't really have other approaches. So I think that it's okay to have a multi-tiered approach for both organic, then you have the easy user acquisition model, and then you have hype model. It's okay to go to KOLs, and it's okay to generate hype around your game. That could be the difference between a game that goes bust and a game that's very successful, especially in Web3, when the value and incentives align with your gamers.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get to Ryan, and then Salias. I'm gonna just call on you. Like we got to get some thoughts from you after Ryan. So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but me and AJ are the CEOs up here. But Ryan, over to you.
Designer Dave, really got my blood flowing. He raised some really good points about organic growth. And in the long run, what a lot of people fail to realize is the associated cost of hosting. Imagine you're a game studio, an indie game studio, and you are self-published. You're distributing your incredibly beautiful AAA not AAA, but let's just say you have a 20 gig MMORPG that you've been building for years in the making. And if you all of a sudden start dropping these incentive based rewards to get people to download your game, and they come and download this 20 gig game in an attempt to farm your rewards, and well, you're paying for that cost per download. And that cost per download, it could be anywhere between 10 cents and a dollar. That's like a mid-range estimate to download a 20 gig game from your own website. Again, assuming you're self-hosted. So imagine all of a sudden you drop this play to earn campaign. You get 1 million users, and then they all uninstall 2 months later. But don't worry. Maybe you lost those 1 million users. They're not active. You still have their emails. So you do a user activation campaign. But what you never anticipated was these 1 million guys uninstalled the game. And when they go and reinstall it, you're paying that hosting cost. And now your cost of user retention and user acquisition, depends which angle you want to look at it from, has substantially increased. So the organic path is truly your best friend, especially when it comes to the associated costs of scaling a large-scale game. And obviously, if you're working with publishers like Epic Games, or you're in the Steam launcher, they cover a lot of these hosting costs, and that's the one of the big reasons of working with them. But all in, it's tough. You need to address the concerns around player liquidity, right? When people come to play your game, especially if you're a multiplayer game, there needs to be other people there. And giving people an incentive to be there has always been the easiest way to do it. But making the decision between the slow snowball of momentum that comes alongside of organic growth and really fueling it, and you got to be strategic, because you don't want to end up in this bad position where your cost of user retention is now going through the roof, or trying to reactivate those guys.
Oh man, so it sounds like Ryan's saying that the tortoise is better than the hare. Salius, I'm calling on you. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, yeah. I mean, I think you all are quite right, but the main thing is that there's two very different target groups that we're talking about here, right? So there's the gamers, like the actual mass players that we as an industry need to onboard and need to start onboarding to deliver on the promises. That GameFi is the thing that can bring those users, yeah. And then we have the Web3 natives, the Web3 blockchain players, which, I mean, if we're being totally honest, there are still not that many yet, right? So I guess, what David from our team was saying is true for the overall strategy that we have, and for the, I guess, overall values that we have. But of course, we know in what industry we are, and we are planning various campaigns that are coming, that are going to be with top tier guilds in Web3, with various tournaments and rewards and airdrops and things like that. But the main thing that it's not going to be for a face roll on a keyboard and for clicking a like button to earn those airdrops or to onboard those users into your community. It will be demanding a bit more skill and a bit more actual in-game things to be done. So I think that's the key to go with that. It's really important not to forget about any of the target groups. And I think we have those plans ready, and we are starting to show that this works. So yeah, that's my answer.
I mean, it works, but man, those airdrop people, win airdrop, it's so annoying.
Yeah, but look,
Hold
I
on.
mean,
You don't like me,
the
Designer Dave?
the guys, look, those
They're so
people,
entitled. They're so
Airdrops
entitled.
Yes,
kind of
terrible.
but there's so
airdrops
few.
Oh man,
But
guys, come
there's
on! I thought we were all friends. You don't have to gang up on me, AJ. I thought you had my back up here.
Well, what do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do? I'm not really. Yeah, that's why I said like crypto is such a broad thing. Like being an airdrop person in crypto that's just constantly searching for airdrops. That is such a time consuming. Yeah, like me as a trader, if you have an edge on the market and you can actually make money leverage trading, someone like me isn't going to be going from place to place to place to place looking for airdrops. I kind of understand Designer Dave's take there that that there's a lot of like expectations, and it's just because people want something for free, and I'm sure that works, and we've seen airdrop strategies work really well, but I think a good game that's actually fun to play that has replay value goes miles beyond hoping people stick around because you give them something for free. That's just my take. I've done like 2 airdrops in my entire career in crypto, and I don't really need to do them, to be honest with you. That's where I'm at with it.
Can we do both?
Thank you
Good
for saying
games,
that.
good airdrops, and good games at the same time?
For sure we
Yes,
can. Yes.
let's go, Kyle.
And we
Kyle's got my
are.
back.
And we are doing that, but I just wish that they were a little less up in my DMs with the when airdrop stuff.
No. Look, Designer Dave. That's part of the culture. That is how us Web3 degens tell you that we love you without telling you that we love you.
That I must be the most beloved developer in Web3.
That's hilarious. Well, I do want to learn more about Engines of Fury. To be honest with you, Dave, I think is it time for the pitch or peril segment of this show, David?
Oh man, it's about that time. We got a lot of alpha from everybody, a lot of opinions on both sides of the aisle. So much coming up. Engines of Fury, big brains up here on stage, multiple CEOs. Me and AJ up here, also the CEO of this space. If you guys down there are excited, drop a comment in the bottom right. Retweet the space. Designer Dave said that he's the more open to it now because I communicated to him. I let him know the love language of Web3. When airdrop means I love you. Come on, guys. That Rosetta Stone version Web3. You guys know what it is. Engines of Fury, designer Dave Salias. I'm excited to jump into it with you guys. So, I mean, who wants to start off? Why don't you guys first tell us? I mean, what is it? What are you doing? What's so cool about it?
We're mixing up genres. We're doing something cool. We're trying to reach a high level of quality. So that's why it's taking some time. We are a top-down extraction shooter with action RPG elements. It's a little Diablo-esque stuff. Maybe Path of Exile would be a better example in our skill tree. And we've got an epic storyline. I'm so excited to reveal this world to everyone, and like it starts with a mutagenic virus that emanates from an asteroid that crashes into the Earth, causing an apocalypse, and it just gets even crazier from there. There's so much stuff coming that I don't even know where to start. So, was that enough to give you some room to ask questions?
Oh my designer Dave. I'm gonna be like these guys in your DMs right now because that sounds very exciting. Something else we gotta know. I mean, all right, I know where we can start. Who are you guys? Like, who's the team behind this?
So I mean now I can maybe start. So we have now around maybe just about 40 people, right? The team, I think we have like really good leads. We have David himself, a veteran from Blizzard. We have another of his friends from Blizzard, Roman Kenny, that was for 27 years there. We have people from coming from Ubisoft, from Unity, with 10 or 30 years each of experience. Our chief of the advisory board and our angel investor is the co-founder of Electronic Arts, Jeff Burton. We just released that recently, although he's been working with us for a couple of years, but we just done this now. And I mean, the team is really good. We have people that have done big crypto launches. Our co-founders are the creators of of D Race, which is now recently rebranded to ZK Race. They did 165 multiples last cycle and was the top 20 IDO. I myself in the industry from 2017 with an agency that I own. I worked with Matic Network, with Arwe, with Noia, with many other projects out there. So we have really the team that knows how to do things on both sides, on a really top tier gaming side and on successful launches. So the team, I think, is rock solid here.
Let me sing the praises of Jeff Burton real quick because I know when people hear EA, they probably react like I do and go, "Oh, ooh, I don't know about that." But Jeff Burton left a while ago, and he left because he believes that the developers should make an income from the game doing well, and that's sort of the ideals that he upheld when he founded EA. It was about the developers getting their fair share, and that's why he's in crypto. So he's actually the best part of EA, which right now EA itself is not so great. But I sing his praises, and if anyone knows me as like a pretty extreme anti-capitalist, which is I know it's interesting that I'm in the crypto space, but it's all about everyone owning their own money and that sort of thing. So I'm really happy that we have Jeff and don't mind the EA. It's the good part of EA that used to exist that most people don't know about because when it started, it was all about people, the developers getting money for for what they were doing.
All I know about EA is that it's in the game. That's what they say in every Madden game. That's all. That's all I know that from. To be honest with you, I'm super interesting. I'm a gamer. I would classify myself as a gamer. I got a new gaming computer in the past couple of months. I've been kind of floating around. I play a lot of things on Steam. I haven't really gone that far down the crypto game rabbit hole. To be honest with you, but I'm open to it. I'm open to it. It depends. It depends. So I'm really like a gameplay guy. Like I really like it, like the touchiness. I like shooters. I like exploring games. I like racing. I'm kind of the jack of all trades. In the I will play anything. What I'm saying. And what my question for you guys is, what are the gameplay experiences or mechanics, will differentiate Engines of Fury from other games? And when will people be able to play your alpha?
We're not ready to announce an alpha date yet, and I want to be very careful about that. We are more on the traditional side of game development, which means that it's difficult to nail that sort of thing down, especially when you have servers. And let me tell you, this is a pretty hardcore game. So it's a PvPvE game, meaning that as you're traversing through procedurally generated levels, there's a possibility that you run into another player, and there's a possibility that they don't like you or they want to get something that they think you have. So you could get gunned down. And if you're not quick enough, fast enough, able to find an extraction point to get away from them, you may lose all your stuff. So it's pretty hardcore. And as we go into so season one is all about the main gameplay and introducing the world and everything. In season two, there'll be contract bounties and stuff that people can put out on other people, and then pay those people fury to go in to hunt them down for you. So there'll be bounties, there'll be guilds, and all that sort of stuff. But the main thing is that there is a main storyline through the game, and each season will take you through an arc of that story, and it's going to be uh, we're working to make it really cool and dramatic, and I think everyone's going to have a really good time with it.
I love it. I'll give it a whack. I will 100% give it a whack. Everybody, make sure you go give them a follow. The Engines of Fury page is right down there. It is a speaker on the space. Go give them a follow so we can stay up to date on when the alpha will come out. I will certainly, I would love. I have a couple of my friends that I would love to put a contract on their head to make sure they lose all their shit. That would be fantastic. I would like that very much. We got my guy Kyle with his hand up. Kyle, do you have a question for Engines of Fury?
Yeah, I got a quick question for designer Dave. I've had my eye on you guys for a while. Love a good top-down shooter. Though what you said to me, man, sounds so interesting. I'd love to hear how big are the maps and kind of like that. Like, I guess I would love to learn a little bit about that and how massive each map is, or maybe not. And yeah, I'd love to get your take on that.
The maps are pretty big. We're still adjusting the sizes, and I think when we do the alpha test, we're going to figure out exactly what the best size is for a particular map. I would say right now we're sort of aiming in the range of like a Diablo 2 procedurally generated map. And remember that each time you play, the maps will change. So you're not going to see the same map twice as they are generated, not pre done. There might be sections of it where we have certain encounters and stuff that are pre done, but in general, you might have there's going to be some variance in the sizes, and we haven't locked down exactly what we think the best gameplay area is, especially since we need to see the PvP VE element come into it, where other players might run into each other. We want to make sure that it's just big enough that they probably are going to run into someone else who might be on the map.
Oh
Gotcha.
man, I actually have three questions, but I want to let AJ go first.
Oh, yeah, sure. I got a question for you guys, no problem. My question is, what do you think the role of GameFi is going to take in the upcoming bull run, and what is the role you play in the upcoming bull run? Because I know the alpha is still isn't coming yet. There's no hard date on that yet, but we are post halving, so we do have to appreciate the clock is ticking. But so what's the role of GameFi in the upcoming bull run, and what's your role in that?
The role of GameFi is to basically lead the market. I mean, games as an industry is like a multi-billion dollar industry, and people often forget that the all the other things are revolving around what can you do with your crypto, whereas we're actually the solid use case because if you enjoy playing games, which the vast majority of people do, there's something to do with the Fury token in our game. So our particular role is about onboarding gamers into Web3 and making that transition into GameFi as seamless as possible. In fact, it's pretty much my goal that anyone who comes in via the traditional methods, say Steam or Epic, that they don't even necessarily know it's a Web3 game until they get to a certain point where they want to cash out, or they find out about it because they're like, what's this Fury token? And then it will be revealed, oh, you've been playing a Web3 game this whole time. They're like, oh my God, no, I hate crypto. And then they're like, but I enjoy this game, so I guess I'll have to turn all these things into NFTs so that when I get killed, they don't drop off my body. And at that point, we've got them hooked, and they'll be like, oh my God, there's all this stuff in my wallet that I didn't even know was mine. And then it's like, of course they'll see. They will see, and the blind shall finally see the path to gamers themselves earning money from the games that they play, spending hundreds of hours every month, if not thousands, and finally they can make their money back in some fashion, and that will make me happy because that's the whole point of this.
Oh man,
Great
I
answer.
like designer Dave. I like designer Dave. There's all right, guys. Look, I've got three questions. They are all for designer Dave. You can choose to answer all three. You can choose to answer two. You can choose to answer one. Completely up to you. First question, and you don't have to jump in. Let me get them all out there. First question: when alpha, sir? Second question: I have Metaverse Land, and I would love for you to come visit me on there so we can play together. Third question: I need to know more about this token. Like, have you guys launched it yet? How do I get some? How do I farm some? How does my 69 cousins farm some? And then, like, yeah, I need to know all about the token and NFTs and this and that and all the DGen stuff. That's what I need to know, designer Dave.
All right. Number one, I love you too. Uh, number two, yeah, we can. If you want to play a game together, no problem. I'm perpetually online, as everyone on the team will let you know. The token launched already. It's on a bunch of major exchanges. It's called Fury. If you go to our Discord or if you go to our Telegram, make sure that you get the token address from us, because there are a few scam coins and some old ones, like on CoinGecko called Fury, that aren't legit. And but you can swap for it on PancakeSwap or KuCoin or yeah, just go to CryptoRank and look at top gainers and you'll see us there. So yeah, it's out there. You can grab Fury now. It's going to be a deflationary currency at launch, and thus gamers who just purchase it, sit on it, and then come back to their game years later will probably see a significant uptick in value.
Oh man, see that's what I'm all about. See, look, I'm in crypto. I am used to getting things for free and expecting them to turn into $1 million. I mean, look, you're speaking my language, designer Dave. This is my love language. AJ, what else do we need to? What other alpha do we need to get out of these guys? It seems like designer Dave is being cooperative.
Yeah, I agree. I think I have to ask him probably the most important question of this whole space. Designer Dave, when airdrop? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I love
I
you
am.
too.
All right. So actually, serious question. Serious question. I had to do that callback. I apologize. But who are you guys working with? Like, who are your advisors? Influencers, partnerships. Like, who are you guys working with to help get the word out there? Because I do agree with your designer Dave. Like, hype isn't everything, but hype is still a necessary element, especially with the crypto element of this project. So yeah, I got to ask the question: who are you working with?
We're working with a lot of people. The brain dead. Hold on.
You're
I think
good.
that David, it's kind of stalling because there's tons of things that we haven't announced yet,
Got
and
it. Got it.
it's not there for us now to do spoilers here. But a couple of things that I can say is that we have really packed calendars for upcoming months. On major chain partnerships, on our certain Fortune 500 relations, on the ecosystems, on the Web3 guilds, on Web2 esports guilds, on stars from esports, and many, many other things. And if you really need some spoilers, we are announcing a major partnership tomorrow. So I'm not going to say what's going to be now. You'll have guys to go and follow us on X, and you will be the first to know tomorrow.
No,
And thanks,
AJ,
David,
I gotta follow
for
that.
not spilling it out because we've been into
Sorry.
several spaces and I had to write, David, stop! So thank you for not doing it now, man.
I am a notorious leaker, so I have to be careful.
David, you did touch on a little bit uh, in your last answer. You're talking about the Fury token. I want to learn a little bit more about that. What is, like, obviously the primary function of it? What blockchain is it issued on? Do you have any details about the supply? Anything like details like that?
Yeah, it's on the Binance chain, and there's I think 120 million, and there will never be any more. If you look in our white paper, I don't know all the numbers off the top of my head, but if you look in the white paper, you can see the release schedule and all that. And I can give you the token address so you can see exactly what's going on with it at any time, which is something that I love about crypto. In terms of the use cases, when the game launches, there will be a ton of use cases. Primarily, it's for converting any items that you've found into NFTs. You can convert your character into an NFT. You can convert your hideout into an NFT, and you can sell those on the market as you wish. And you can also do there'll be staking, which will have some rewards with it. And there's also the ability to change stats. So you can re-roll stats on items that you find in your hideout using the Fury token. And that's all I've got off the top of my head. I wish I had brought up my my own chart.
Totally. So did this launch recently? Correct?
I can
Like, when
chime
was
in
this?
here, guys. Yeah, so we launched just yesterday, so it's been a bit over 1 day of our launch. We launched on PancakeSwap, of course, because we're on BNB chain, right? And then we also have KuCoin, Gate, Mexi, BitGet, and HTX. So that was a major launch that we had. I think that kind of helped us to have the over 30, I think, millions in volume in the last 24 hours. If you go to crypto rank, we're now number 5 gainer in the space, which I think tells a lot. Also, it's not really easy lately for I think GameFi projects to launch. But I think a lot of spotlight maybe goes to like Bitcoin or like memes or like RWAs, but if you look at our price action, I think that really Fury token will be an example that top tier projects can launch at any time and still do well. So I think this is what we are doing, and yeah, happy to kind of be sharing and flexing a little bit about all of that.
Yeah, for sure. I did the first thing I did. I looked it up, on CoinGecko, sitting at 79 cents, all time high at 91, up 68.8% in the past 24 hours. It looks to me like you guys have had a really successful launch. Certainly, pat on the back for that. I will certainly keep my eye on these things. Projects like this, especially this early on, everybody, I feel like, probably, could be a good, long-term play because, the alpha for the game still hasn't we haven't even played the game yet. And if it meets expectations, I think that this could just be the beginning. I think you guys are onto something. What do you think, Dave?
Oh, absolutely. These guys literally checked off all 69 of the boxes that I look for. On top of that, Designer Dave killed it up here. That,
He
believe
did.
it
He
or
really
not, that is
did.
one of the main things that I look for. I want to make sure that a gaming project has somebody going around to Twitter Spaces and who understands the love language of Web3. We had to school them a little bit up here, but we're all on the same page now. I love what these guys are doing, AJ.
Yeah, me too. 100%. I have one final question, and I guess I'll ask Designer Dave because he's a rock star for sure. Designer Dave, you've been in this industry for a long time. You've seen games like World of Warcraft come and other hundreds of millions of games come and go over the years. Where do you see Engines of Fury in 5 years from now?
Well, I mean, World of Warcraft is still here. I
Oh,
was
for sure,
just
for sure.
playing
I
it.
just know that's on your accolades. That's all I was getting at.
Yeah, no, I got it. Well, I hope I this is the thing with Engines of Fury. We're not just building this game. We are building an intellectual property. We've got a book on the way. I'm going to do a reading from that soon, an excerpt. And we've got all sorts of plans for potential future media for it. And this will not be the only game in the series, but it will be the longest running one, fingers crossed, because I think that it's a really compelling new mix of genres that hasn't been there before. And when people get their hands on it, once we've smoothed out the experience and polished it during the beta, I think people are going to enjoy this one for the next 10 to 20 years. And more importantly, I know there's going to be a lot of imitators coming after us as soon as they get their hands on it and they're like, wow, this is actually a really compelling uh, mix of genres. So I think that the first one in always tends to be the one that lasts the longest. Well, with the exception of EverQuest, though EverQuest is still around, but World of Warcraft, they did it just a bit better. And we are hoping that Engines of Fury is going to be the best take on top-down shooter extraction ARPG. So let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go. I do appreciate you guys. This is absolutely an amazing space. Got so much out of it. Everybody, make sure you go give Engines of Fury a follow. This thing is coming. The coin just launched. The project is building. They got a rock solid team. Man, I'm bullish on it. Dave, what do you got, bro?
Oh, AJ, mega bullish times 69. Love this space. All of the speakers up here are goaded. All of the listeners, you guys are goaded too. We appreciate it. All the listeners for coming out, all of the speakers for coming up. Make sure you follow Designer Dave, Salius, Engines of Fury, and then follow Designer Dave again because I heard he likes to leak stuff. He is going to tell us when the alpha testing opens up. Guys, you do not want to miss that. Oh man, I'm excited already. Can't wait to dive into it. As soon as Designer Dave gives me the A-OK.
Yep, I already followed him with all 7 of my troll accounts. And when all 7 of us want the leaks. We do appreciate you, Designer Dave.
I love you too.
Bro, Designer Dave, you are picking up so fast. That makes me even more bullish. You 1+1 = 2 to you. You understand everything the first time. Can't beat that, guys. I mean, wow. Like, just launched yesterday. Everything's doing so good. I can't wait till the next space. I mean, Designer Dave, you guys got to come back and tell us when the alpha testing opens up. Actually, tell us on the space next time. Just set it up, drop the alpha. We'll all have an awesome time together. I can't wait to play this game, AJ. I don't know about you, but man, this was amazing. I hope everybody has a great day. I'm gonna look more into Engines of Fury now.
Yeah, for sure. It's games like this is why I bought a brand new gaming computer 2 months ago. I'm loaded up. I got a bunch of empty space. I'm gonna delete all the other games. No, I am serious. I'm joking around a little bit, but I am totally gonna play this game once I can get my hands on it. I'm looking forward to it. I do appreciate everybody here. Make sure everybody you all smash the like button on the way out the door. Give a follow to Designer Dave, Salius, Engines of Fury, all the other speakers for sticking around. We do appreciate you, David, my co-host. You are the man. I think our CEO. We were CEOs for about an hour, but I think the space is about to end. It was a good run. That was probably the only hour of my life I'll ever be a CEO. But hey, it was fun while it lasted. I do appreciate you guys. Have a safe rest of your day. Peace out. What do you got, Dave? Take us out.
Hey, I was gonna say the same thing. Thanks to all the listeners for coming out, all the speakers for coming up. We will catch you in the next Mario in the Fall Spaces Roundtable. Me, AJ, Mario, Ryan, everybody. We will see you guys soon.
Get rich or get wrecked. Peace.